So on approach to this zebra crossing, I check my mirror. There's no one behind me, no one too close, but there's nothing happening at the crossing also, so I'm able to just continue on this occasion. On approach to this zebra crossing, I see there's someone there, so I check the mirror. They're already crossing the crossing. I make sure they've got all the way across before I continue, and double check to make sure no one else is coming that wants to cross. This time on approach, check my mirror when I see the crossing. There's someone just finishing crossing the road. I'm checking to see if anyone else wants to cross. There's a lady that appears, but she's not quite at the crossing, so I'm just going to continue. Obviously I'd stop if she stepped out. I don't want to knock anyone over, but I've got priority there, unless she steps on the crossing itself. So as I come out of this Y junction here, I turn onto the new road, and just up the road I can see a set of pedestrian crossings controlled by traffic lights. So I check the mirror to see what's happening behind, and then I slow down, covering my brake just in case I need to stop. I could not see past the bus as I approach the pedestrian crossing, so I want to make sure there's no one there. As it happened, no one was there, and I was able to continue. Just up the road I see another pedestrian crossing. So again, when I see it, first thing I do, check the mirrors, and then start analysing what's happening at the crossing. Looking both to the left and to the right, I see no one waiting. It's probably not going to change, although someone could have pressed the button and walked across, so it may change, but not very likely on that occasion. Approaching another pedestrian crossing just round this corner. As soon as I recognise that I see the pedestrian crossing, I check the mirrors, and then I'm assessing the crossing. I can see there's someone there, so I'm slowing down a bit more gently on approach. They probably have pressed the button by now and I'm just waiting to see if the lights will change. They didn't on that occasion, but I would have been ready to stop. Here in the middle you can see the crossing islands that are designed to help people cross the road, but not actual pedestrian crossings. We don't need to stop for this later, but we would do if we were sat in a queue. Now further up we see a Pelican crossing, which has got the flashing amber light. If the amber light is flashing and there's someone crossing the road, let them get all the way across, and then we can continue once they are across. Don't confuse a flashing amber light on a Pelican crossing with a flashing amber beacon on a zebra crossing. On the one that's just round this bend, we've got a controlled crossing of some sort. I'm going to turn right at this junction. It's controlled by traffic lights. There's also a junction there and the pedestrian crossing. And if you look to the right here, we can see that it is a staggered crossing, so the crossing doesn't go all the way across both roads. Because it's staggered and it doesn't go all the way across both sides of the road at the same time, then there could be two different sequences. The green man may be on one side of the road, but there could be a red man showing for the pedestrians at this side. Now often, if there are crossings on one side on a big crossroad like this, there would be crossings in the new road. So if we look into the new road, we can see some sort of staggered crossing there also. It could be a Pelican, a Puffin, doesn't really matter, but what we need to know is that someone could have pressed the button and it could still change because there's a separate solid line on the floor. It didn't change on this occasion. And then further down the road once more, I check the mirrors. As I have done with all of these crossings, I can assess it and see there's no one there, and we can just keep on continuing down the road. Now sometimes on approach to pedestrian crossings, there might not be anyone crossing even though it's on red, but you still check your mirrors on approach. You can see this one changes, but no one's actually there to cross. They must have crossed already, but then a man does appear, and he decides that that's safe for him to go across, which it probably was. There was still a green man. Now this lady, she's about to step out. It's probably a red man at this point. She's taking her time, having a look. Let her get all the way across before we continue. That's the safer way to do things. There's no rush anyway, because as you can see there's a bit of a queue at the roundabout. Do watch out for people that do decide they're going to cross, even though the red man is on. Yes, we may have priority, but we're not going to knock someone over for the sake of a couple of seconds. Here again, check the mirror on approach, see there are people wanting to cross. The one just press the button and the light doesn't change on that occasion. So just moments later up the road, I came to an incident where someone had been knocked over. They may have decided to cross the road. Even though there's a pedestrian crossing just up there, they decided to cross the road and the van driver has not seen them and ended up getting knocked over. So just make sure you're on the lookout for pedestrians no matter where you are. Pedestrian crossings, town centres, just keep an eye out for pedestrians all the time.